So here's a look at how it all ended. 1-1, this game finished between the two of them. Obviously, the drama being Mourinho sent off as well. But Manchester United drawing their first two games. Could have done with a win in this one against Fenerbahce. Here are their results so far. There's obviously today's draw. Before that, as mentioned, those two draws. One at Porto, which finished 3-3. And that opening one against Twente, which finished 1-1. Manchester United at 21st. In Europa League standings right now. Let's welcome in Ian, Darke and Frank Leboeuf as well to talk more about what we saw. Not probably the result, Ian, that Manchester United needed tonight in the Europa League.
Well, I think it was important they didn't lose the game because it seems to be a knee-jerk reaction to every game with Erik ten Hag. I thought it was an okay performance, really, going away from home. It's not easy there in Turkey. Fenerbahce probably had the better of the first half and found themselves one down. I thought United had rather the better of the second half, but conceded during that phase of the game. There's football for you. I thought the big plus for Manchester United was the performance of Ugarte. Ali's already mentioned the great goal line clearance from him, but he was breaking up the play and doing the job Manchester United have been missing in the middle of the pitch. So I think that is something that they could really use going forward in some difficult fixtures. So an okay performance and result, I thought.
Frank, do you share Ian's positivity here?
I don't know. I share the fact that it was an okay performance and that's a fair result, and a draw is deserved by both teams. But I agree with Ugarte. I agree with Onana. Great. I was so disappointed by Dalot. I mean, the chance that he has to give the ball, to the perfect ball to Marcus Rashford was absolutely a big miss from an international Portuguese player. I mean, he should have been better. It's an easy pass to give, an easy assist, and he should have made the difference. After, I think Manchester United, they did what they had to do. It's away from home. You have to understand that the pressure of the fans is huge in Turkey, and it's never easy to settle down and to give a good performance. So they dealt with the atmosphere very good, very well, I would say. But they made some little mistakes, and without Onana and that save from Ugarte, that could have been a different story.
What was your take on it, Ali?
Well, I think it really depends on what your outlook in life is when you say that your life is okay. Because Ian is far more positive with the okay, whereas Frank, okay is not so good. And I'm leaning more towards Frank in the sense that, yes, it was okay, but you need to see more than okay when it comes to Manchester United. And the truth of the matter is that perhaps this is their reality. Well, not perhaps, this is their reality. That okay is as good as it's going to get for most days. And in games like this, away from home at Fenerbahce, yeah, okay is apparently good enough. It's good enough to get a point. It's good enough to get out of there feeling better about themselves. It's good enough to sort of hold off on some of the pressure on Erik ten Hag and these players. But in long term, what does this do for Manchester United? Not a whole lot. What I would say is, in observing and analyzing who Fenerbahce are, it's a bunch of cast-offs. It's a bunch of guys that have been there, here, and everywhere, including Manchester United, former Manchester United players. Fred, Amrabat was there as well. It's like a whole reunion of cast-offs from everywhere that meet at Fenerbahce, and they kind of try to make it work. But it's not a great team. And yet, this team that I'm saying it's not all that great, created all sorts of issues for Manchester United in the first half and should have scored a couple of goals. Did not. On the point of Jose Mourinho, and some people may think that this is not relevant. I think it is. When your manager gets thrown out in the manner in which he did, and now he's sitting in the stands, we looked at the cameras, and the cameras focus on Mourinho. He's over there in the stands having a conversation with the assistant, and he's writing, and he's drawing, and this is what we're going to do. All the while, there's a game going on. There's a game going on. And so him getting thrown out, I think you found Fenerbahce getting disorganized and stretch, and they didn't quite know whether to go for the win or sit back or how they were going to approach it. And that's where Manchester United got a hold of the ball a little bit more than they did in the first half. Okay, it's Manchester United. Okay result. Okay performance. Not great.
What do you think the reaction's going to be from the English media, Ian, then after that performance, particularly in the Ten Hag aspect?
I don't think they'll really be at his throat after that particular performance. I mean, the bigger picture is they haven't won in Europe for a year. The bigger picture with Manchester United is we've all grown up with this team in Europe's top competition. The reality, as Ali was said, these days is far lower. They're in the second tier competition, and they've got 3 points from 3 games so far. The first 2, you'd have to say, pretty disappointing. Today, an okay performance, but as Ali said, only okay. But that is where Manchester United are at the moment. I mean, what everybody wants to see is, and everybody's asking, is this Erik ten Hag the guy to take them up to the old kind of levels or towards that kind of level? That is a debate that's still very much out there. And I think most people would say the answer is he's probably not.
And to the point that Ian was making in terms of the results so far in Europa League, not only are they in the second tier of competitions in Europe, they're 21st! 21st in the second tier of competitions in Europe. And this is after 3 matches. So from what we know of Manchester United matches what we see. Not quite good enough, not quite competitive enough to be in the top tier, and struggling to get results among the second tier.
Frank?
Yeah, well, you know, they fought against Porto and Fenerbahce, who are supposedly the toughest opponents in that group, or the game that they have to play, that they have to play. So I think we have to be optimistic for Manchester United in a way that I really think that next games will be much easier. And they should go through, even if they're 21st right now. I think they should go through and convince a little bit more us first and their fans after that. But yeah, it's not perfect, and we all know that there are so many works to do at Manchester United. But overall, you know, I think they're going to go a little bit further in that competition. Can I just go back to Mourinho? I mean, what did you expect? You know, that's what it is. That's who he is, in fact. That guy is a showman. I know the camera, they know that. The producers of the TV shows, of the games, they know that. So they have to show him, because they know that every time he knows that the camera is filming him. And he's showing it. He's showing up. He's a masterpiece for television. And when you have kind of a okay game, you go on Mourinho because you will have something, and it's always like that.